Let's start all the way back in 1762, when the first iteration of the modern day sandwich was created. This guy right here, John Montagu, the 4th Earl of the English town of Sandwich. That's right, it's a place. So the story goes that cold salted beef slices were served to the gamblers in between their gambling, which implied that they would have to take a break from gambling, which apparently was like a massive issue for this guy. He could not take a break. So either him or his cook had the brilliant idea of putting those beef slices in between 2 pieces of toast. Now keep in mind, serving meats and cheeses and all sorts of vegetables inside of breads was a thing for thousands of years. In fact, most likely John himself was inspired by his many travels to the Mediterranean. But you know what? Many food historians, yes, that's a job, agree that this was indeed the first version of the sandwich. But I would argue that we should give all the credit to the cook of this guy. Like, he did pretty much all the work.
Instead of having beef grist on my fingers when I play cards, I will have breadcrumbs.
Yeah. What's beef grist?
It's a little dry, but this idea is going places.
Yeah.
He should have added like a sauce or something. Add sauce, pickles, mustard. Make it good.
Rated a 3 out of 10.
I also rated a 3 out of 10. This is an 1824 recipe for a sandwich. It comes from Mary Randolph's housekeeping manual and cookbook, The Virginia Housewife. Oyster loaves. Now to make oyster loaves, the first thing you will need is a couple round loaves. You cut off their tops and scrape them out, kind of like making a bread bowl for soup. And make sure you save those little crumbs you take out because they're important. And you can't make oyster loaves without oysters, of course, so you will need some oysters. This was my first time buying oysters and we struggled a little bit, to say the least.
Ah, shit. Shit. What a stupid fucking guy. It's not Jamie Oliver.
That's Jamie Oliver, bro. I don't know what you're talking about. Now to continue the recipe, you have to cook these oysters in a pan along with those breadcrumbs you took out of the bread and a good lump of butter. Whatever a lump is, this kind of looked like a lump in my opinion. It says to stew them together for either 10 or 15 minutes. Which is quite a range. Then you put in a spoonful of a good cream. What makes a cream good? I don't know, I just went with my guess as to what a good cream is. Not excellent, but definitely not bad. Now after this rather stinky, creamy, ocean-tasting substance is formed, it's time to add that to the loaves. Hope you're hungry. You think someone made this in 1830 for the whole family and the family was like, yeah, oyster loaves, my favorite.
It sucks. It sucks.
Oh, tastes straight ocean, bro.
Really?
It's 1826.
Eat the filling. You just ate the bread.
I like the bread.
Take a big bite of it. Eat, no!
3 out of 10.
Now we jump to 1869 when sandwiches were already in all sorts of American homes and restaurants. But this is the first recipe that is kinda similar for what I would call a sandwich today. Plain sandwiches. It says cut ham or tongue very thin. I chose ham. Did not want to choose tongue.
Yeah.
Take some bread slices, spread it with, quote, very nice butter. Lay meat on very smoothly. Press the other slice on very hard. This person likes to use the word very to describe things.
Yeah.
And trim the edges off neatly. Interestingly, she didn't say very neatly. And this is an 1869 sandwich. I gave golden butter sandwiches to 1,000 poor people. Oh my God. This is the first one that I like. I'd go as far as to say that it almost doesn't need anything else. I'll give it a 7. What is your rating?
5 out of 10.
You hate it?
It's basic.
Next, we move on to a little more exciting territory in the early 20th century with the dawn of the famous peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Oh, I just bit off a huge chunk of my lip.
Oh.
Why did I do that shit? That's the dumbest thing I ever did.
Trust me with the fact that it's not.
Now, America took this combination and made it pretty much their national sandwich. It was cheap, convenient, relatively nutritious, and kids loved it. I also personally love it. It's just a classic food combination that will forever have a legendary food status. Wait, actually, before that, best way to have this shit is with milk. This is what you do. You take a bite.
Coconut.
A little bit of milk.
Blub, 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 blub.
That's a 9 out of 10 right there. Very close to the invention of the PB&J, the club sandwich was slowly but surely progressing into what we know today as the BLT, bacon, lettuce, tomato. It became popular in the 20s, but its first ever mention is in 1903 in a cookbook called Good Housekeeping Everyday Cookbook. In my opinion, the focus on any good BLT should be the tomatoes. Use good, thick slices of tomato and make sure you salt them. Also, I decided to go the extra mile and I made my own mayonnaise. And this was my first time making mayo in my life, and I was kind of shocked by how easy that happened. It was a good mayo. It did not suck. It tastes like mayo!
Yeah! It tastes like mayonnaise.
It was better than Hellman's.
Not that
It was better. It looks nice,
It
bro.
looks like dirty. Bottom. Holy crap, you can get into a sandwich.
It's just a perfect sandwich. Like, there's nothing I want to change about this. This is a 10 for me. Let's move on to the 1920s, when a little thing called the Great Depression happened. But out of all of that resulted a need to simplify the sandwich and make it as cheap and convenient as possible. So as a result, the grilled cheese became very popular. Affordable sliced bread and cheap American cheese hit the market. The Great Depress.
Ocean.
Did you say ocean? So put 2 and 2 together, you get a simple and, dare I say, beautiful creation. Oh, fuck yeah. That's a high quality grilled cheese.
Yeah. Look at this floppity.
It's alright. You think it's
I
alright?
had better.
You had better grilled cheeses.
I don't like the selection of cheeses you picked here. What a trash sandwich.
This is a straight 8 out of 10, bro. I like a grilled cheese. Now let's time travel to the 1940s when sandwiches became a little more fun. And let's go to the city of Philadelphia.
Nice.
Where the Philly cheesesteak is born. The Philly cheesesteak is made with thin slices of beef, topped with cheese and grilled onions. It's served on a crisp Italian-style roll. Pat Olivieri, along with his brother Harry, are credited with the creation of the sandwich in the 30s, but the cheese was only later added in 1948 and is now an iconic staple of Philadelphia and the US and the world, because it's a good sandwich. This is the first cheesesteak I've ever made, and if I were to change anything, it's the cheese, because I use this like overly sharp, very pungent provolone cheese, but I could still appreciate its greatness, so I'd call it a success. Oh, this is juicy.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Get in there. Tastes good?
That's good, bro. It's incredible. I'll be honest. It's very fucking good. It's a 9 out of 10. Almost as good as the BLT. In the 50s, a sandwich revolution was born. Thick and long, chewy Italian and French-style breads began to be stuffed with cheese, meat, and vegetables. And that's how the sub sandwich was born. Or hero. Or hoagie, or wedge. It had many names and a lot of variety based on culinary traditions and different regions of the US. The classic sub is linked to Italian immigrants who made a very good decision to put salami in a bread.
I like the salami.
Nowadays, the sub is so widely spread in the world that Subway is the second biggest restaurant chain in the world based on locations, just second to McDonald's.
That is incorrect. It's first.
It's not first. I checked.
Really?
It was first 2 years ago, now it's not first.
Really?
I got my research on point, my guy.
Research?
Oh, that looks good, bro. Imagine that this is 1955. You never had a sub before. Oh, actually.
I love being a white guy in 1950. Look at the food I get to eat. Shit. Look at this well put together sandwich I can feast on. Being a Caucasian in 1950. Wow. Oh, I like the vinegar in there.
Okay.
I like that. For a guy with a cooking channel, you should learn how to melt some cheese, my guy.
Yeah, I agree.
Other than that, I love this sandwich.
This is a 9. Now let's move on to the 60s when things are getting a little bit crazy with the invention of the Monte Cristo sandwich. Initially, this was a variation of a French sandwich called croque monsieur.
Why does your mouth go like that when you speak French?
Croque monsieur. But no doubt what popularized and solidified the Monte Cristo as a standalone sandwich was none other than Disney. The Monte Cristo was maybe the most demanded menu item in Disneyland, California when it came out in 1966. And I can see why. I mean, that looks good, my friend.
It looks weird.
It does not look weird, it looks good. Oh, bro.
Relax.
Bro.
Relax.
Oh, that is good, bro. Like, you are one a weird guy if you think this does not look good.
Thanks for the sandwich you brought to me.
Yeah. It almost has a panic cook thing going for it. 9 out of 10. Now let's stop by the 1970s when the tuna melt was most likely created. Tuna salad was a thing ever since the canned tuna industry started promoting their product in the early 20th century. But for some reason, no one thought to put it in a sandwich and put cheese on it and melt it until like the 1970s, when the first recorded recipe of a tuna melt has occurred. No one knows exactly who created it, but if you ask me, it's probably some guy in his 20s in his dorm being like, I could melt some cheese over that tuna, put it in a sandwich.
The inventor of a sandwich was not a student.
I don't give a fuck.
Your thought is stupid.
My thought is good.
No. Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit. Mostly tuna pool.
Yeah. Cheers.
I don't want to do that.
Cheers.
I don't want it.
Cheers. Touch my...
For some reason, I feel like the first thing that comes to my mind is McDonald's.
Oh, I get it.
Right? I'm not fully in favor of the choice of cheese you went for here.
I am.
But the tuna and the celery works.
Mm-hmm. Tuna melt is good. I'll give this a 7. What do you give it, Benji?
I don't know anymore.
Okay.
I don't know what a sandwich is.
I also kind of lost the meaning of a sandwich.
Yeah.
I had way too many sandwiches.
Subscribe if you eat a sandwich.
Subscribe if you eat a sandwich?
Yeah.
If you're currently eating?
No, if you eat one.
Oh, if you just eat one.
Just if you eat one.
Don't really know the mechanics of that, but okay.